Hey there, give us a like, comment, and subscribe. We've all made mistakes in crypto, even those who should know better. The key is to learn from it and to stay on top of the basics of trading and investing. And what better way to learn than to hear from someone who has been there, done that, and got the crypto postcard? Today, we'll be covering many topics from NFTs to Bitcoin and trading mistakes with my guest, who is a top broadcaster and influencer. It's Jessica Walker from Fluid Finance. All right, Jessica, thanks for coming on the show. You've interviewed quite a few big names in the crypto space. Who would you say gave you the best advice or was the best, and who would you say maybe was the worst?
Good question. I like this question. I would say anyone in 2018 that gave me the time of day because markets were really, really low. So anyone that was still continuing to build and educate people in that time. Anthony Pompliano taught me a lot about crypto. I interviewed him a few times and that was an absolute pleasure. Hi, Anthony. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Mark Yusko, Max Kaiser.
Yeah! We're not selling!
There's been a lot of really interesting people that have educated me on crypto and on the technology behind it. I know when I was first doing interviews, very early on, I would interview people that were very into the tech side of things when it comes to blockchain, and it was such an overwhelming topic that I felt too uncertain to even ask questions. And this was 2015, 2016, and the market was still so new. There was a huge information gap between people that were building blockchain technology and how to understand it at a native level. There wasn't the content out there. The content was really fragmented. It was kind of, it was very, very tech-centric. So I think people that only speak one language and not to a general retail investor in general, I think that has been something that has slowed the industry down. Mm-hmm. And also people that are very crypto native to one specific crypto. So I'm not going to name names, but people that are just, this is the only crypto to go and you shouldn't listen to any others. Yeah, as opposed to being blockchain agnostic and going, hey, well, there are some cool projects that are built on Cardano and there are some cool projects that are built on Ethereum and other layer 2s that are built on Ethereum itself. So I think being able to understand the utility beyond just Bitcoin as well will also help the industry grow. And there are some people that are just like, nope, don't want to hear it. It's Bitcoin or nothing and I'm not going to have the conversation.
What do you think your the most common question you get for people coming into crypto who have no idea about it?
There's still so much confusion around crypto. I think the biggest one is regarding ownership. So it's like the kind of, can people take my crypto away? What if crypto gets banned? Can crypto be hacked as well? What happens with your Bitcoin? Does it just disappear? Because you see the big mainstream media articles where it will say one guy was hacked or lost all of his Bitcoin or he lost his hardware wallet. So you see all of these stories, and I think for communication for new users and investors, there's still a real lack of information. And I know this is where content does a good job in trying to fill in the pieces of the puzzle, but for a lot of people that are watching this that haven't yet bought Bitcoin themselves, I think it's really good to go on a non-centralized lending platform is to try and just buy a fraction of one cryptocurrency and store it on something which is your own hardware wallet, your own ledger, just so you can really understand the security of the situation. And then you can understand the risks as well, because the main question I get asked is when it comes to, like I've said, can it be taken away from you and what happens in that regard?
Yeah, like I noticed a lot of people that I know who are getting into crypto brand new, they skip that step and jump straight into NFTs or altcoins, and they don't do any of actually learn about the security of it. And then that's how there's these scams to give away your phrase words. I've known quite a few people now who've given away their phrase because they thought it was some type of support, and then their wallet gets wiped out, and they're like, "Oh, this crypto stuff's a scam," and I'm like, "What'd you do?"
It's a killer, but also like for me, and I don't know if it was the same for you, NFTs were one of the biggest welcoming of new people into crypto. So I've been preaching about Bitcoin for years, and I know you've been educating people on trading, but for me, NFTs was when I was getting the most DMs from people from high school, like, yo, how can I get into this NFT thing? Where can I get started? For some reason, it was so much more tangible for new investors than cryptocurrencies and trading. So NFTs, I think there was a lot of confusion there with, if I buy this at this price, will it just continuously go up like the property boom in the 1960s? And people are left right now holding NFTs that are 80-90% down from what they originally bought in their bags. That's also difficult to explain to
including myself. But when I got my NFTs, I was like, I wrote it off initially. I was like, okay, this is worth nothing, but they're still worth a bit.
What NFTs did you buy?
There was Boss Beauties, Crypto Chicks, and then there's a bunch on Solana, the Geckos, Soul Punks. I'm still holding them now. I think I maybe sold one NFT, but I got them all before the NFT boom and just held on. Solana Monkey Business, that was the one. That was the only one I sold.
Oh.
Yeah, but I sold too early because it went up. I think they went up to like 100,000 for one, and I sold when they were at like 15. So.
Man, you were probably watching each day like, no, I can't watch this
I was only
anymore.
I think I was about a week or a few days too early.
Yeah, Solana last year moved crazy, that was for sure.
Like, people know you work in crypto, and what's their reaction when you tell them that you work in crypto?
I normally get flows of people that will message me. I went to school in the UK. I'll get a flow of people from my hometown that will say, you know, I want to get into crypto. Dogecoin. I had so many people ask me how to buy Doge, and that was just like a kick in the stomach to me. I was like, man, I do take time. I always take time out to reply to people and say how you can get involved, where you can start, what kind of actions you can take. I find though a lot of the time people will ask 3 or 4 times before they actually go ahead and jump into crypto. And I'm not sure whether it's off-putting because actually sending funds to an exchange is quite a lengthy process and it can take a day or 2 for them to go through. I'm not sure if it's still that information gap for people or if it's still just a fear factor. I know I have a lot of female friends in the UK that will ask me a few times and they still haven't invested just yet. So also I'm not sure if it's a new to investing kind of situation. People that aren't in crypto, when they ask, depending on how the market moves, their answer will be completely different.
Yeah.
So last year it was like, oh, whoa, that's awesome, tell me more. Right about now they're like, oh, crypto's still a thing. That's still you're still getting paid okay.
I tell people, I'm like, now is the best time, but it's weird unless someone actually truly wants to understand it. Usually it's hype driven. When they see prices going up, that's when they have more interest in it.
For sure, yeah. When they see the news articles about buying crypto, that's normally when it's too late as well. So I always look at the fear indicator, the fear index and greed indicator. Yeah. And it's like, if it's an extreme fear, that's when you should start looking at like maybe looking to acquire. But typically when everyone from high school asks you, that's when it's an extreme greed kind of situation.
So what do you think your biggest mistake has been in crypto in terms of even Bitcoin all the way from the beginning?
Not taking profits.
Yeah.
I first bought Bitcoin in 2017. Yeah. I've probably taken like 5K of profits. I can't believe I'm admitting that on here. And I've just ridden out bull markets and bear markets the whole time. Like I really haven't taken profits in the way I should have. And I'm kicking myself because I literally do YouTube videos. You can go back on CoinMarketCap or Bitpanda and I'm like, guys, you have to take profits. But when you're in the height of it, it's hard because you kind of get so excited about what you're building. You look at your Bitcoin stacks going up.
Yeah.
You do. You get excited. You're like, I own this many Bitcoin. It's going so good for me. And it's hard then to cash it out because I've also sold Bitcoin too early and then re-entered when Bitcoin was 10K higher in 7 days when it's kind of having this euphoric peak. So not taking profits has definitely been my big one. Also not enough research as well because you see so many projects online where you can buy social engagement, you can buy community members, you can encourage all of these things which give this this hype around the project, I find going to events really, really beneficial for me because I like to meet people that are also familiar with the team. I know we've been speaking over the years, and there's times where you're saying, oh, I'm watching this project right now, you should check it out. And I think when you have industry friends that will put you in the direction of, okay, I know the guys, so they're good guys, or I've trusted them, or I've met with them, that also gives a validity tick, which is something you can't pay for, not like a Twitter verification nowadays in 2022. So if you are new to crypto, go to a crypto event, hit the expo floor and try and meet some people. If you're not sure about a project but you think you're going to invest, crypto events also allow you to meet people maybe before at kind of like at whitelist level. So you can get in pretty early as well with projects that you find interesting, and you can meet the team. And that's so valuable in this space because there is still this disjoint between people online and people that you can actually speak to, and almost a customer support experience.
It's funny though that you mentioned you meet industry friends that tell you to buy things. That as well, you got to be careful because I made a mistake with that. I had a few people that I've known a while, still pretty good, close with them, but they're like, "Hey, buy this," and then you buy it, and a week later, gone.
No.
That happened throughout last year. I guess when things are running up, there's those random projects that come up, and then they're kind of just hype trains.
Man, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's insane how quickly people can be bamboozled in this space. It can happen to the best of us, you know. People can go all in on a concept, and sometimes it's like the team are amazing, but the code's just not that good and there's been a flaw. So there's so many different factors to consider in this space. So then that kind of leads to the last point of like, you always should invest what you're willing to lose. You should never like remortgage your home to invest in crypto at things that are crazy. I know there's this Twitter account that's gone live recently. It's Crypto Confessions. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I follow that one.
Yeah, it's a good one, but sometimes you're reading them and you're like, oh my God, you took all of your wife's life savings and you invested them into it.
People getting divorced. It's like, wow. It's like, dude.
It's heavy, it's no game. So I think people have to really make sure they're investing in the right kind of things, because if you don't do your own research properly, if you invest too early, if you invest what you're not willing to lose, then it's glorified gambling, and then you have to be really careful.
Yeah. One thing I noticed for you, you work in crypto and you've been around so long, but you're one of the first people I know that you're pretty pro Bitcoin, but you're not overexposed in altcoins. Because most people that do create content, they're talking about the only altcoins. I never hear anything about Bitcoin. So it's like, it's weird when you do see that. I'm like, oh, okay, then you know who really knows and really knows what the value that Bitcoin brings to the space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say my portfolio is like 65% Bitcoin, and then the other 35 is alts. And I like to, before I talk about cryptos and other alts, I like to invest in them a little bit. So I kind of have a little bit of skin in the game. I'm a little bit emotionally invested as well. It helps me encourage myself to learn about them a little bit more. But for me, I also think there's no tech that I found that I really can kind of as wholeheartedly as I have to Bitcoin, maybe just because it was the first crypto I learned about. So for me, I'd come from the Forex banking background that I was like, whoa, this is really cool, you know? So I've not had that same level of kind of emotional connection almost to the crypto. But there's definitely been other cryptos that, I mean, I've watched people come in 2021 and they've kind of flipped loads of different alts and they've overtaken my portfolio P&L by 100%, you know?
Yeah.
So I wish I was more altcoin obsessed, but it is what it is.
I'll go back to it, to one question. That was my mistake in 2017, 2018. I owned zero. I got rid of all my Bitcoin and owned all altcoins, like 20 different altcoins. And then I think only Tron and another one were the only ones that really paid out all the ones that I lost on. And then, I had to learn the hard way not to be an alt collector.
An alt maxi. Everyone has their own learning curve. See, if we shared our portfolio strategies, if you were the kind of the altcoin diehard and I was the Bitcoin, then we would just level each other out. It would be the yin and yang of investing.
My thanks to Jessica Walker for her no-holds-barred insight into her life in crypto. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out our other videos on Currency.com.